Hey guys,
This is great. I like this.
this is your music.
Yeah. Makes me want to send it attention. I still got. Oh, I said, okay. This is very emotional for me. I sang this a lot in the Navy.
Yeah, it's a good song, man.
Yeah, it's great.
I know a different version of this song.
Do you?
Yeah,
You mean on the Marine Corps side?
yeah.
Yeah. What's that one called?
This is Anchors Away.
Is it? But it's just different lyrics?
We have different lyrics for you.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't paint the greatest of picture.
Okay. I can imagine.
Austen Alexander, ladies and gentlemen.
Alexander. You said Alexander.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm super tired.
It's all right.
Didn't you just tell me I had like a lot of things going on?
Yeah.
So do you now.
I know. It's hard to focus on one.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Always Forward podcast. And there's an Always Forward sign, which I've
Yes.
had for a very long time, and I've been saying never quit, never surrender forever, always forward. And so it just made more sense. So to give, nobody understood what the harbor site was.
I didn't really either.
Because it's a tactical term for when you're on patrol and then like you harbor up, like in the middle of say a mission or like a downtime of a mission. You find a little harbor site like in the woods. It's safe. You set up some security, and that's where guys can like eat chow and fix their gear and rest.
We call that a muster.
Yeah, that's just the formation.
A muster is a gathering of people in one location.
Okay, but this is like this is like on mission.
Oh, okay.
Like you're out in the woods with packs.
We didn't
and like
use
all
that.
cammied up with your guns and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it made sense because I was like, oh, it's the harbor site, and we started the harbor site podcast originally back when, like 17.
We did our first
18?
ones, yeah. Probably the one with Cody and everything. That was 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time, but it was a lot more like round table type stuff, and
Yeah.
anyways,
Johnny, and then in 18, Johnny and everybody would come on and we'd do like just talk about random current events, bullshit. And there was like 10 people.
Yeah.
It was random, but
it was cool. It never really took off because we didn't. As Johnny Sliss grew, we kept having to move, so
Yeah.
I kept losing my podcast space. So it just,
Yep.
you know the deal.
Another one of those things. Yep.
Yeah,
You're-
one of those
you're-
things.
You're trying to keep them in line, but all of a sudden one explodes, and then you're like, well,
Well, shit. I
Yeah,
got
yeah. I'm the
So-
same way.
So then the other day we were like talking about the long-term plan of the podcast and long-term of everything. Cause like I'm launching my, my Always Forward mentorship group. I don't know if you saw that. We got to talk about that a little bit, but, just to stay on brand across the board, it just made more sense.
I like the name.
Yeah, it's good,
Yeah.
right? Makes sense. That's what I talk about all the time. So anyways, Austen,
Yes,
you're
sir.
in North Carolina.
I'm in North Carolina.
Welcome back to the South.
Thank you very much. Good to be back.
Do you feel like more at home?
I really do. Yeah.
Like you feel like more relaxed than being in like
Yeah.
LA?
This is a lot slower pace out here. Is like as far as the traffic and people
Yeah.
than it is in Los Angeles. In LA, you got somebody always behind you on the road that's got to immediately be somewhere, and they're on your tail the whole time, and it's just
Everybody's an asshole.
here I can basically just go to sleep and just end at my location. There's like barely any cars on the road, it seems like.
Comparatively. Like for
Comparatively,
somebody
yeah.
here, it's like, what is this traffic?
Yeah.
But they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you originally from?
Alabama,
Where in Alabama?
Florence.
Florence, Alabama.
A lot of people don't know where Florence is at. It's
Oh,
close.
I know. Because
You know.
I drive up, because we have to drive up from Panama City through Florence to
Okay.
go to Atlanta
Yeah,
to come
yeah.
here.
It's right on the path.
Yeah.
So if y'all don't know where Florence is at, it's listeners, it's close to Huntsville. If you don't know where Huntsville's at, Birmingham.
I can't help you. It's in Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah,
Google
look
Maps.
it up. Anyways, I remember the first time. Anyways, we'll get into that. But I remember the first time that we met. I don't know why you told me this. It's one of the first things you told
Oh
me.
God, there's no telling what I told you.
Like out the gate, it was. I think the first time we met was the BPM pop-up shop, right?
Yes.
Out in where was
Santa
Venice?
Monica. Venice. Yeah.
Venice.
Same.
And anyways, you were like, "Yeah, I had to change my accent,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "That's super random." I was like, "But it makes sense."
Because I was just tired of repeating myself.
So when did that happen? Like in the Navy?
It was my first year in the Navy. Nobody could understand me, and when I had to sound off, it gave like all the RDCs and my petty officers and chiefs a reason to be like, "What the fuck you say?" So I had to enunciate more.
So
And-
was it actually like a thought out process? Like, I am going to change the way I sound.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
And how
it was
does
a
that
struggle.
work? Like, did
Yeah.
you go to a class or do something online?
Okay. So the first one was, we had to sound off. We had to say, I, petty officer.
Right.
And when I said it, it was I, petty officer. So they thought I was saying, all right. So I was yelled at and dropped so many times because they thought I was saying, all right, petty officer. So I purposely changed it. Aye, petty officer. So that made me enunciate throughout the years my eyes. See, I just did it.
Yeah.
I used to like talk like this, like it was real Southern drawl, real like none of my eyes would sound right. But over the course of time, I've just changed my accent so people can understand me. There's still a little bit of accent in there,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's wild, man.
it was
I don't think I've
tough.
ever met anyone that has purposely said, I'm going to lose my accent. You know what I mean? There's people, because you move, and then
Yeah.
when you move, you like pick up a little.
Well, and when you're away from where you're from for a long time, it
Yeah.
kind of starts to dissipate, right? You don't hear it as much, but then when you go home, it comes back out. You know, like I've heard a lot of that kind of back and forth where you
Like
switch them. back
I've
and forth.
noticed that now Josh is back in Hawaii.
Yeah,
What is that slang that I forgot.
I don't even know.
There's a slang they speak in Hawaii, and I'm sure everybody in the comments is going to be like, it's this, but I don't remember. Anyways, he's been there for a couple of years now, back this time.
Yeah.
And he,
Talks that way.
he's starting to sound like say certain things, and it's just because you're exposed to it.
Yeah, and the people like, I was up in Great Lakes, and everybody up there had a northern accent. You know, it was kind of like Canadian,
Of course. Yeah.
and they couldn't understand me. And then I bounced to Texas, and I fit right in.
Yeah, of course.
And because they all thought, "Where are you from? Texas? You from here?" And I was like, "No, I'm from Alabama." And then I got to California, or people in Bahrain, it was like a melting pot. But then California, they're like, "Where are you from? Texas?" I'm like, "Nah, Alabama." Like I said, there's still little hints and pitches of accent in there, but
that shows up.
for the most part, yeah, I'm pretty. I've tried to even out the accent.
Well, you've had quite the. How old are you?
29.
29.
I turned 30 this year.
That's awesome.
I'm
Dude,
excited.
I gotta say, man, there's a lot of people that I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Like what you've done in the limited short time that we've known each other, which has been several years. Like it's fucking impressive, bro.
Thank you.
Like if you guys don't know this guy and like watch what he's done and what he's like created, it's quite amazing. So
And he doesn't have like a huge staff either. Like
No.
he's crushing it.
I have 0 people on payroll. I
Well,
probably need more.
you got your cousin living in your
He moved out.
he moved. Oh man, wah wah wah.
Well, it was kind of like a, hey, I'm going home, and then he took some time to get back to me on that, and then he's
Yeah.
like, hey man, but I moved my good friend Matt in with me. He's been helping me a lot with video, and he just lives there for free. It's a win-win for both of us. We work
Yeah.
really well together. Great guy. Sarah, I'm actually gonna put her on payroll in a few days, probably
Really?
next week, because she graduates
Should
school.
we not launch this podcast until you've had that conversation?
No.
Oh,
We've already been talking about it. Because for like a year, she's like, I want to work with you. When you gonna have a job for me? And now she's gonna be doing merchandise fulfillment and posting of the battle bus to the social channels. So
she's already kind of been helping with fulfillment for a while now.
yeah,
right?
she's had her hands in. Like
yeah.
she is so cordial, and her memory is like insane. She's like a robot sometimes.
Elephant.
Elephant, yeah. She remembers exact times, exact dates, without even having to schedule them in a calendar.
It's super handy, isn't it?
Yes.
For
A
somebody,
great woman trait.
for somebody like, but for guys like us, like
Mhm.
we need that. Otherwise,
I forget all the time. It can be on my calendar. I'll forget it.
your brain's moving too fast.
Yes.
Yeah. So you grew up in Alabama, being
Grew up in
just a
Alabama.
little skinny.
Yep. Skinny nerd. Didn't really care about anything. Really didn't have any hobbies or interests, except I would just.
You made videos.
Well, I did make videos. Yeah. At the time, it was just kind
Some of those old videos that you share that you used to make are like the fun. Like
Yeah, I was so nerdy. And they're fun to look back at.
Yeah.
I made a lot in high school, and I just always loved the video camera.
Yeah.
My mom had one of those big, I think it was an Ape Tech. It's the 2-hand hold, and then you could rotate the camera up and down like this, and it had that big screen on it. We used to
What?
make
I don't know.
Was it high 8 tapes or VHS tapes?
high 8.
High 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
The step up.
smaller
There's a
one.
step up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got one of those, and we filmed action figure movies on them, and I just loved plugging up to the TV and getting trying to get my family to sit down. Watch this, watch this, watch this. It would just be like a Spider-Man, and I would be talking into the camera as a Spider-Man action figure. I just loved it. I fell in love with it.
So how the heck did you go from that to the Navy as a Master of Arms? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I remembered.
Master at Arms.
Master at
Yeah.
Arms. Not Master,
same, though.
Master of Arms.
Yeah.
You're right. I am the master of arms.
So I went from kind of making those videos. In high school, I produced a show called Current Events for the whole school, and that's when
Right.
I got my
remember
first dose of entrepreneurial spirit.
Allie did that actually.
That's exactly what I did.
You-
But it was called Jagged Edge.
That's a band.
Well, that was the name of my show.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So, yeah, I ended up burning those DVDs manually from my mom's computer, one by one, and selling them. And back then, $200, I felt like I was on top of the world.
Yeah.
Sold like 20 of them. And that's when I got my first dose of entrepreneurial venture.
You're like, oh wow, I do things and people will pay me for the stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I just loved watching people's faces as they saw the show. I wouldn't even watch the video. I would just watch other people because I loved being able to pull them into a storyline, make them laugh, make them emotional, make them, do whatever. And it was a great feeling to me.
Yeah.
From there, I got into porn for a few years. And no, I'm just kidding.
They blacklisted you.
Yeah. No, from there, I dropped out of college. Graduate high school, dropped out of college. I was going to college for electrical technology, installing like audio and stuff, amplifiers in people's cars.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a headache. I messed up a few vehicles. Luckily, never got sued. But from there, I joined the Navy after I dropped out of college. 21 years old. I went in originally as ND, which is Navy diver, because at that
I remember
that point in my life, my parents were going through a hard time. I was always a stay-at-home boy. I was always, a part of the nest, mom and dad. And when they started going through a hard time, my brother kind of distanced himself because it was weird for us, because for 20 years, we knew my parents were together.
Yeah.
And now that we saw them kind of splitting up, it was weird. So I was kind of going my own way, getting into the gym, spent a lot of time with my brother, started doing things that I didn't normally do, like running, just avid gym goer, CrossFit. And
Is this when you really started like lifting like weights and trying to become like
Bodybuilder.
a fitness?
Yes.
Yeah.
basically I started with arms. I would just curl
All the time.
like 3 or 4 days a week. And then my arms, after a few months, got abnormally like not huge, but bigger than the rest of my body.
Yeah.
I was just walking around like this. So I was like, well, next I'll just do shoulders to even it out. And never did legs. It was all upper body for the first 3 years and never did even touch legs. And
you wouldn't guess that now.
well, that's all I do now. Because
Every day is leg day.
yeah, exactly. I was, just fell in love with the gym, just being there, listening, becoming more independent. And
How old are you at the time?
I was about 19,
Okay.
because from age of about 19, 21, my parents were going through a tough time.
Yeah.
And I found this other side that was like, high achiever, doing things, getting out of your comfort zone. And I always had a massive fear of the water, still do a little. But I said, you know what? I'm furthering myself. I'm getting to the gym. I'm getting into shape. Since I hate the water, why don't I try to go for a Navy diver?
Damn.
So for
I dig it.
7 months there.
You're like, just head on this thing.
yes.
Yeah. I'm afraid of that, so I'm just gonna meet you head on.
And that's the only fear that I can think I have. Heights, I'm okay with. Anything, dark rooms and closed spaces, I don't care about that. Water and ocean water scared the shit out of me. So that's why I was like, hey, just, I'll be an ND. So I went through the pipeline, did 7 months of physical screening tests, the tests that I always do on my YouTube channel. And I got in the water a lot. I started to enjoy it. Still never really touched the ocean, but swam a shit ton. miles and miles a week just in the pool, lap after lap after lap.
Yeah.
Got pretty proficient in the water, earned my ND contract, then went to boot camp as Navy diver, contracted. And that's when I started to have some fearful experiences, because we have this thing called dive motivation, where all the Navy SEALs and SWIC guys that were getting ready to retire, they had a pretty easy duty station at Training Service Center. So they would just go in there and they would roast us. They would conduct the PSTs. They would beat us down and made us do weighted brick treads and over-unders in a 25-meter pool, which is where you have one group that would swim over, freestyle, and one group that would swim under.
Crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was tough for me. And anyways, graduated boot camp, did completely fine, got into Navy diver pre-dive school, and I was completely fine on land. It was me and this guy named Luke Kozlowskis. I still speak to him to this day. I was the best land PT. He was the best water PT, and we were always partners, because he would make me better, I would make him better. And we got to the final day of, well, it was the day before Man Day, where they strap us up twin 80s in the pool. And
Giving me flashbacks.
yeah, and just that moment is the moment that pushed my limit, because I was being pulled down in the pool. You know, you're having to constantly tread.
Do you know what you had? How long did you have to tread with the 2080s? Do you remember?
It wasn't a time limit. It was, you had to finish your checks and your buddy's checks, and then y'all could go home.
Okay.
And they partnered me up with this guy named Austen Fulcher. He was so they put Luke with the worst land guy, and they put me with the worst water guy.
Okay.
So, because I guess they were attempting to switch up partners, and anyways, I got in the water with Fulcher. Fulcher panicked, dropped on request, headed out, and when he dropped, for some reason I didn't hear it, so I was turned around facing the wall, just treading for probably a minute or so, and then I just glanced over my shoulder, and an instructor was in the water just waiting on me. So I turned back around. So I did double checks, basically. You're supposed to be in the water anywhere, if you're good, 3.5 minutes. If you're not good, 4.5 to 5 minutes. I was probably in the water 5.5, 6 minutes. I got to the point where I could not.
That's a long time with 2080s.
It is a very long time.
Yeah.
I felt like I was doing well. I went through the checks. Everything was good. But when Fulcher, it's not his fault, but it just wasn't in what I had practiced. And I freaked out. And I couldn't get my head above the water. I tapped the pool. They pulled me out. They said nonverbal DOR. And when I signed the paperwork, it was drop on request paperwork, which technically grabbing the pool is not failing. So they had just told me that it was.
I thought they were supposed to give you, I thought you were supposed to get that's like a fail.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to
retry.
And then retry.
Which happened multiple times to a lot of people. But the environment was so fast paced and aggressive there that I guess I didn't read the paperwork before I signed it, and I signed a drop on request sheet.
Shit.
So,
and you're 21.
I was 21.
You don't know anything.
And I was super scared of the chiefs,
of course,
of the petty officers, and they're just, now I look at them, they're like regular people.
Yeah, right. Of course. But when you're in that environment at that age with that experience, you're just like, everything is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Master at Arms. That's how I became a Master at Arms. They sent me to reclass. It was a Friday afternoon. They sent me to reclass, and the guy was typing on the computer, and he's like, "How can I help you?" Like, not even paying attention to me. I was like, "Oh yeah, sir, I'm here to get my Navy job for the next 4 years. I was thinking I would appreciate it if you'd pay a little attention to me."
Yeah.
He was on the phone chatting with his wife or whatever. He's like, "Okay, what can I do for you?" He's like, I said, "Well, I need available jobs pronto because I need to pick another job." He's like, "Okay." He printed off a list. He said, "Oh, cool. You have air crew, you have corpsmen, you have pack seamen, pack airmen, pack firemen, which are like pretty low on the totem pole."
Yeah.
And then you have, a few of these other ones. So he printed it out. He said, "Go out of the room, decide, look on, ask some questions like about what it is, whatever. Come back in 5 minutes." I was like, all right. So I looked up air crew. I said, "Okay, I'll take air crew." Walked back in. I said, "Give me air crew." So he's like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "I'm sorry, it's not available anymore. Pick another one." So it was between and Corpsman was gone too. But so it was between
What are these, like a 30-second countdown that you're looking at?
Well, so on Friday, all the jobs the Navy has available filter down to Friday. Monday,
Okay.
you have lots of jobs available, and by Friday, people are slowly picking.
Oh, and then
and the
then
whole Navy.
and you went in there on Friday.
Yes,
Cool.
people in the whole Navy are like picking
Super
these
awesome.
jobs.
Yeah.
Terrible situation. MA wasn't on there, so I was like, well, I was about to say pack seaman, which is a boat deck division. It's like pretty low on the totem pole. Shout out to my deck guys out there.
You're a shipmate.
They're gonna be mad at me as I said that, but it is. You start out working hard. It's takes 2 years to advance into any rate.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll tell you what. You know what? He just come back Monday morning. Being here first thing Monday morning, we'll get you a new job. I was like, oh, thank God. So I showed up Monday morning, had MA on there, all these other jobs. MA was the quickest A school. I just wanted to get out into the Navy, do my 4 years, and then get out. I was like already traumatized by everything else. Like my life had changed like 2 or 3 times through the pipeline. I thought I was going to be a Navy diver. Now I'm going to be a police officer. So it was a shock.
Did you know what that was?
I knew Master at Arms was military police.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it didn't catch you off guard or anything.
It didn't.
Okay.
The reason I chose it, though, is because it had the shortest A school.
Okay.
7 weeks as opposed to like 14 weeks, 10 weeks, 27 weeks.
You just wanted to get into the fleet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And get rated and get paid more and rank up.
Yeah.
So I said, give me MA. So he typed me up off to MAA school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long did you do total?
7 years.
7 years.
7 years as an MA.
When did you start? What am I going to say? How do I say this? I don't even like this word. When did you start creating media online? That's what I'm
I like
say.
that. You were about to say influencer, weren't you?
No, I hate that word.
Okay,
I'm not
I do
gonna say
too.
That word.
I do too. When people ask me what I do now, I say I'm a digital content and media syndicator. And they're like,
Conglomerator.
what? Yeah, exactly. But just because I hate saying I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I just don't like saying it. I started that. Okay, let me tell you the story how I was in a lot of debt. It was a depressing time for me. Okay.
Oh, I like this.
Get ready for this one, y'all. It's a roller coaster. There I was. First duty station as an MA was Bahrain. I got there. It was literally like, you know how it is. It was like a hairdryer blown in your face. My eyes were burning. Like it was like 125 degrees. And that's no exaggeration. People hear me say 125, 130 degrees, and they're like, oh, that's not possible.
No, it's possible. 100% possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
125 degrees, blown in your face.
Just dry as can be. You're
dry as can be.
Yeah, your body is literally just turning into a raisin.
Yep. Yeah. And I was thinking, is this real? I was like, golly, what is this place? Checked in, did 2 years harbor patrol in Bahrain. Along my time in Bahrain, you know, I didn't know anything. Like I was just still a young, childish kid. Obviously, I'd gone through boot camp, but they don't teach you money management skills in boot camp. They don't teach you anything about business. They don't teach
or
you
in high school. We can get into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we can get into college. We can get into that forever.
Yeah, I didn't learn any of that stuff.
No, our society is not setting up young men and women.
I agree.
I love that meme when it says like what you need to know about like, you know, economics and everything, and then it's like American schools.
Yeah, what they teach you.
Yeah, and it's like molten rock is called magma.
Yeah. Sweet. Thanks.
I've seen one that says, nobody ever taught me how to do my taxes, but thank God I know the Pythagorean theorem. That's my favorite one.
Anyways.
So, there I was, just a stupid kid in the Navy. I had a flagship rewards credit card that I maxed out, and then there was another one that I maxed out, and then it didn't click to me that, hey, Austen, you're gonna have to pay this back one of these days. So by the time I left Bahrain, I was like 20,000 in debt on these credit cards. You know, just
how old? 22, 23?
21, 22. 23 by the time I was leaving Bahrain.
That's a lot of money for that age.
It is, and I didn't have any money, didn't have a savings, didn't have really bad with money. And then to top it off and make it worse, I headed into deployment, and I didn't really spend a lot of my money except in port. I was getting these expensive, you know, Hilton hotels, going out drinking, all this other stuff.
All the stuff that everybody in their young 20s did.
Yeah. Never pay the debt off. Still had just $20K of lingering debt on me. Just trying to push it off to the side, making the minimal payments, and just trying to ignore it. And
oh, don't worry, they're happy. They're getting paid.
Oh, the credit card company?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? They're taking all my money.
They're like, thank you for signing up for our subscription service.
Yeah. So we hit up all these ports. That was great, eye-opening experience for me. And then I went to Seal Beach, California.
Okay.
That's where my life changed. I was 25 years old. And that's when I kind of took a look at myself and I was like, dude, you're a shithead. Like I was in the gym, of course, but that was it. I was bettering my body, but nothing else. The most important
Was
side.
there a specific moment that like really caught you off guard?
Yeah, it was when I met Sarah.
Really?
When I met Sarah, she had her shit together.
And
She was, or to me, it seemed like that, you know. She was just this well put together young woman. She had her bachelor's. She was a travel nurse making good money.
Driven.
Very driven.
Yeah.
Overly driven, I would say at this point. And she made me want to be better because she didn't know I was in all this debt. She thought I was a well put together young man. You know, she saw me, oh, the military guy. And
who's this Austrian hunk
exactly
of a guy?
Exactly. Yeah. But she didn't see that I was struggling mentally, you know, and financially. So it was a trip to Mexico. You know, I was really trying to impress her. It was our first year. I don't even think we were, maybe it was our first year together. This was in 2018
Mm-hmm.
2017, right when I came back from deployment. And she said, let's go on a trip. Let's go to Mexico. And I was like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. In my mind, I was panicking. I was like, I don't have the money for this. So what did I do? I opened another credit card. Even though it was on like $2,000, $3,000 vacation, I put it on there because I was trying to impress Sarah. She didn't know I was in all this debt. She didn't know I didn't have the money. And it was after that trip in Mexico, I thought, you know, I don't want to live like this anymore. I've got to do something. I've got to quit being a shithead and get my stuff together. Because if Sarah finds out I'm all this debt, she's probably going to leave me.
She's like, you're a mess. Yeah.
Exactly. Because she was in no debt at all. She was paying for college by herself.
That's crazy.
She already paid for her BSN by herself. And still to this day, she's about to graduate. It's all been paid by herself, out of pocket, zero loan. And so I started digging into ways to make money. You know, I started doing the regular stuff like people do, e-commerce, stock market. I was looking into investing. It was so bad at one point, I used to charge those bird scooters for like $3 to $5 a piece.
I remember you telling me about those.
I would, and I acted super excited about it. Look at this, you know, I'm making $40 a night, but that was out of pain because I was like, I have to pay this credit card off. And that was a tough time for me in Seal Beach. And I stopped charging them because I had gotten my first paycheck from Google, YouTube. At the same time, I had made, you know, throughout 2018, I started posting consistently August 16th, 2018 to YouTube. And by the end of that year, I got my first paycheck, which was like $30. And, you know, it was taking me multiple hours a week to charge these bird scooters for like $100. And I was thinking, oh, I'm doing something that I absolutely love. And I just made 30. Never saw YouTube as a viable source of income, but I was like, maybe there's something there. The first good amount of money I made was from a YouTube video that I put a link in there to this company called Acorns, and they gave me $5 for every referral that I got from that link. You may have to cut these coughs out.
It's that Bahrain cough.
Yeah.
That
Never
dry.
goes away.
I think it's from switching from dry to wet to dry again because it's really dry in California.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the video that I plugged that in did pretty well. And I ended up probably getting 1,000 or 1,500 signups like pretty frequently, like almost every month.
Wow.
So that was like another $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000.
It's an investment app is what it was.
It is, yeah. I still use it to this day.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a sponsor segment or anything. But yeah, they were giving me this referral money. And I used that chunk of change to pay off my credit card. And then from there, I just felt like
you caught up.
I caught up, yeah.
How much total? Do you mind saying?
Probably $20,000, $25,000 to me at the time,
At 25 years old.
25 years old, yeah. To me at the time, it was astronomical. I was thinking, fuck, there's no way I'm going to be able to pay this off.
It's such a great lesson. I hope people listen to that.
Very good lesson.
It can happen.
Yes.
You just gotta work. Yeah.
I hate to say this, but probably the best learning lesson is when you hit a rock bottom like that.
Of course.
And I hope that was my rock bottom, because I don't ever want to be there again.
Well, the difference is now is like, say you hit a rock bottom now. It's not really a rock bottom because you have all the experience and information that you can be like,
Exactly.
just do it again. No big deal.
Exactly.
I'm not stressed.
Yeah.
But when you're that age and that happens and you're like, you don't have the experience and the information to like make money.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're like, if I took everything away from you right now, you could rebuild it.
Yeah.
It'd actually be more fun, probably.
That's why I say
Because that's where the fun is the building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm still in the building process now.
You always are.
And I'll explain that later. But that's why I say I like aging, because I have all this experience and I've just have so much confidence of the things I've gone through. And like, if it was all wiped away from me, I wouldn't panic. I would just use the knowledge. Yeah.
Do it again.
As long as somebody doesn't put one of those Men in Black, erasers on me.
That would be the problem.
Yes, that'd be a huge problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there I was just having a blast time of my life making YouTube videos, because it was something that I was passionate about, from what I was doing like back in high school. Mm-hmm. And I was able to mix my interest in
What was the
fitness.
first type of videos? Was it out the gate, the obstacle course one?
No, not at all. That took a few years to.
It was just like the old stuff that you're posting on Facebook now, like
first, yeah,
like Navy, BAH.
No. That came with time. The first one was an all-you-can-eat meat buffet.
Oh, so it was like your typical. You started off
trending
with
videos,
the vlogging typical videos.
Yep.
Challenges,
vlogging,
which was the thing in the time.
Yeah, and then like pranks. We dressed up as Spartans, went to Venice Beach. We thought I spent like way too much money on that video for some reason. I bought costumes. My friend Brad and I went to Venice Beach and just walked around and just interacted with people. The first video that caught on was it was a video about military pay. Just because I had
that was a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
was like it's something that people need to understand. You know what I mean? And I guess you had the negative side of it to kind of educate people on.
Yeah, I was like, look, if you're not good with your money, you're gonna go in debt like me, okay? And I was just flat out with people, and that video did pretty well. And then the second video that really put me on the map with YouTube was Miss Bikini Olympia attempts the Navy physical readiness test, and I had created 40 videos before that one popped. So, like, if you're a creator out there and you're listening to this, it may take you some time to get your strategy down. But after that,
or you'd be like me, you could pop and then go back down.
Happens to every creator. I mean, happens to me now too. But made that video, and I saw everything, all the analytics shoots almost like a straight line up in the air. Yeah. It went from like 30,000 views a day up to 2 million. And it was just overwhelming. I was getting emails from Daily Mail, Business Insider. They were all saying, hey, can we feature your video? Men's health, muscle and fitness, women's health, which was huge. And I say that just because they don't have a whole lot of like big events that women go through that they're able to report on. So they just, it was great for the whole community. And I saw the earnings spike up just a tad from that video. And somebody had commented, they said, hey, you need to enable all the ad types on this video, because still I didn't see YouTube as a viable source of income. I was like, this isn't real. It's only for the,
There's no way they're just going to pay me invisible money.
Exactly.
Just to post videos.
I thought it was way too good to be true.
Yeah.
And so I went back in the YouTube studio and I enabled all the ad types on that video. Mm-hmm. And my earnings went from $3 a day to $100 to $1,000 to $2,000, like while that video was trending.
That's crazy.
And I think that month I did like $8,000 or $9,000, and I was like, I didn't touch any of it. It just sat in my bank account. Next month, I did it again. CrossFitters attempt the Navy physical readiness test.
That was a good one too.
Thank you. Another $8,000 or $9,000 money just deposited, just sat there. And because I was afraid to touch it, I was like, what do I do? Do I pay taxes?
They're going to ask for this back. I just know it.
Yeah. I did not spend any of it. So
This isn't real money. I'm being played.
They're gonna get me somehow.
I was super, super frugal, which allowed me to build a battle bunker, which is what I'll get into next.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, every month, you know, I just
And
tried
you're still
harder
in the
and
Navy,
harder.
right?
Still in the Navy.
Still in
just
the
doing
Navy.
this on the weekends.
Yeah.
I would edit, you know, if we had downtime, I would edit for 2 or 3 hours at work, just on call. We get a call, close the laptop, roll out.
That's what your taxpayer dollars is going to right there.
Well, we did work 60, 70 hours a week, so I felt like it was warranted. Plus, it kept me awake.
Tell the people thank you. Say thanks,
guys. Thanks, guys. I mean, I pay taxes too, so I guess I was, you know, paying myself. So basically, just working on these videos.
You're paying taxes now. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I'm paying way too much. Yeah, way
We
too much. Don't remind me about that.
We don't have to get into it now.
I almost got into a sad moment there. I was like, "Fuck, you're right." Yeah. So kept kind of replicating that strategy, and then it was U.S. Marine attempts the Navy physical screening test, and then I was doing all these tests with Marines. It was just I had a freaking blast. I loved it, and by the end of that year, I think in 2018 when I first started, I had done like 300. By the end of 2019, I think it was about 60 or 70,000. And I was like, man, cool, this is great. Still had every single bit of the money. And then, of course, I had to pay taxes on it a little bit. And then YouTube took back a little bit for some, I don't know. So I think by the end of the year, I probably had 50 or 45 or $50,000. Still just chilling there. I started 2020 and started branch out a lot. And then pretty much all the videos that I made were these challenge type videos.
Yeah, but hold on. This is something you did during 2020 that I want people to listen to. You were very intentional about your goals.
Mm-hmm.
What were those goals? Do you remember?
In reference to what?
YouTube.
To YouTube?
Yeah.
It was create less videos, better videos. Is that what you're talking about?
No, you had an actual metric. You're like, I'm going to do this many views. I'm going to do this many, like.
Oh, yes. I wanted to do 100 million views.
Right. That was the goal. You're like, this year, once you
I'm
realize that.
sorry. It was 40 million.
It's 40 million.
Next year was 80 million.
Okay.
This year will be 100 million.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that a little more.
The reason why, because like it's crucial that you really lay out your target.
Yes.
Right. Like you actually have something, and a lot of people don't shoot high enough. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They go, well, this is good enough, but really, it should almost be outside of your grasp. But
I completely agree with that.
Make you uncomfortable to think about.
People are not. They're just like, I want this in a general term. That's not the way it works. You need an actual like tangible target to hit.
Yes.
And then you plan you back plan and you do kind of phase line approach to hitting that target. Anyways, go ahead.
100%. Yeah, I completely agree. And I didn't in 2018 I had no goal.
Right.
I was just like post a video. 2019 I had no goal. I was like, oh, just post videos. In 2020 I saw that I had done, I think it was 20 million views, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do double that in 2020. And I said I want to do 40 million views. By the end of the year, I think we landed at like 53 million views. 2021, I said I want to do 80 million views. I think we landed 78, 79, maybe 80 million views.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I completely agree. If you have something to shoot for, you can backfill from there. Okay,
right.
now I can make 32 videos that have, on average, what 1.5 mil a piece. Yeah. And of course, not every small step you take is going to take you in that direction, but overall, on average, you may have in terms to me, I may have a video that does 7.5 million views, and the next one does 30,000 views.
Yeah.
But as long as you have your target in mind and you're looking at your target, it's going to set much better balance for you to get there.
Yeah.
So 2021, it was a bigger year than 2020. I didn't double it. I think it was 100 million views. I think we hit around 85 to 90 million views. And this year, I had a target of, I believe it was 100 or 120, and we just had a short hit. I think it was 43 million views the other day, which is absolutely crazy. So by June,
which one? What was the short? Remind me.
It was the Battle Bus series. It was.
Oh,
hey, I was calling out this guy.
I remember.
Like,
yeah.
Hey man, and it's perfectly in line with what I love to challenge people. I love to inspire.
It was like so many dollars per pull up or whatever.
It was $5 per squat.
Yeah.
At 135 pounds. I
Off
said,
the battle bus.
I'll give you, every squat you do, I'll give you $5. Very simple to the point, and people have fun with it. We have lines of people. We just have crowds gathering around the battle bus, and that video was shared by SportsCenter. It did 40 million views on Facebook, 40 million views on YouTube, and 10 million views on TikTok. And I don't like TikTok, but we have the video.
Your
so
safe sex one, your 2020 safe sex TikTok video is where it's at.
I'm surprised you remember that.
Oh, that's a solid one, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, go look up him on TikTok and find
Austen Alexander TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, we have the Austen Alexander TikTok, and then there's the Battle Bunker TikTok, which a lot of the Battle Bus content is on. But yeah, my goal is by June I want to hit 1 million subscribers, and we're rolling up to 800K here very shortly.
That's amazing, man.
Thank you. And when I start posting more of these shorts, I think it's gonna propel the long form videos and just build a better, community, stronger community, bigger community.
But it's all been very intentional. That's the biggest point with all this. It's
yes.
like super intentional. Like there's nothing like you weren't winging anything. Not anymore.
I wasn't. Even people think with the Battle Bus, they think we just post these videos and just let it ride. We had 5 or 6 iterations of the same type of content. We started POV. We started GoPros in the vans. We started handheld POV where I was like, hey, come and do,
It's an enormous amount of work.
And we finally landed on this format where I was mic'd up with a Tascam DLR10, shot with the Sony, cropped in, short form edited first, and that's the strategy that is performing the best. So there's a lot of, we don't just go out there, shoot the videos and post them. On a broad spectrum, yes, but we've studied the algorithms, the average view durations, the click-throughs on the long forms. But
people don't realize that. They look at some short 15 to 60-second video. They're like, oh, that's cool. But you have no idea the amount
you
of
blew
work.
up overnight.
Yeah. It's overnight success, right? Sure.
No, the Battle Bus, I bought the bus and it sat there for 2 months. Because I kept making these series and they weren't doing well. I was like, well, fuck, I bought this $6,000 van for nothing. And then we just kept trying. And we landed on a format that propelled us like crazy. And right now, the way we
always forward.
Exactly, always forward.
No matter what.
Yeah. And it was a tough time. Well, not even compared to all the debt I was in, but like some of the revenue that comes in from the Battle Bunker, that's where I was like, you know what? I need some type of vehicle. Let's make it funny. Let's buy a 1988 Dodge Ram B250, and it's kind of creepy, but let's wrap it green and put mud tires on it.
I think it's awesome.
Thank you. And
the whole A-Team thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not four-wheel drive, unfortunately.
Oh,
but
the next one.
The next one is hopefully a Cybertruck. So I have to pay all these freaking gas prices. We get 10 miles a gallon in the Battle Bus.
In California?
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah, so I paid $6.70 before I went to the airport. 2 days ago, yeah. But
nice.
The Battle Bus,
Thanks, Prez.
It took, I know, right? It took 2 months to get this content where it was optimized. Mm-hmm. And finally we have found a format that is optimized, and Facebook Reels has a pretty good payout now.
Yeah.
Bonus program.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of effort into YouTube, but the Battle Bus videos are posted on Facebook Reels, and we receive a payout from that. So
Facebook, not Instagram.
Facebook, not Instagram. It's
really?
Very similar, but Facebook pays out a little more. It's about $1,300 for every 1,000 views.
Wow.
It's kind of similar to YouTube because it's so much easier.
That sucks. I'm getting a lot of views on Reels.
Are you're not in the bonus program?
Yeah, you are. We're on bonus on Instagram, but we haven't switched on to Facebook Reels. We load stuff, but we haven't really tapped it yet.
Yeah, never share from Instagram to Facebook. Post natively on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what we do. But
okay,
I got to look at the. Stuff.
You have to go into the Creator Studio to find it.
Okay.
Creator Studio, monetization, bonuses. This is like my life now. Anyways, the battle bus, I was stressing, paid $5,000 for this van, $1,000 to get it wrapped, and like $500 for the wheels and tires. We were using it in some of the videos, but it didn't add any significant viewership at all. It didn't add any viewership. And I was like, well, I'm stuck with this van. So we kept trying at this format. And then when we found a format that worked, which is me being filmed, like everything is intentional and specific in those videos. Mm-hmm. The way I say, can you squat, performs the best over anything. That's why all the videos start off with, can you do pull-ups? Or, hey, can you squat? Or, hey, can you do push-ups? That's
the start.
That's the start.
That's the opening.
So now I went from 6,500 in the hole to, we signed a sponsorship with Echelon, very reputable company. I love the people over there. And that was like $4K.
What do they do?
They're energy drinks.
Okay.
Or pre-workout. And
plug them.
Yeah, Echelon.
I don't know.
I'm not affiliated with them.
No?
Now.
Okay.
But they're on the rise.
So they did a sponsorship for the bus.
For the bus, yeah.
Nice.
And which gave me more money to give away. I pretty much just gave everything away. And then when we got in the Facebook Reels program, the first month I did $35,000. And I was like,
shit.
My gosh, let me rephrase that. First month did $530. And then halfway through the month, they were like, well, you're getting pretty good views. We'll open up the maximum bonus for you. $35K.
And you hit it.
I hit it. That was last month.
Nice work, dude.
I'm still waiting on the payout. So now,
let's go, Zuck. Pay the man.
Exactly. So now I'm waiting. That's gonna fund. Sorry, I got this like cough. I don't know. It's just a cough. I promise. Don't freak out on me. Nick freaks out about the coronavirus. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they all believe that.
That's funny. He's like, I don't care. Just spit in my mouth.
Yeah,
right
spit
now.
in my mouth.
He went to jiu-jitsu and was like, let's all roll around when we have it and get it to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That it's all, everybody there is safe.
we all had
when
it.
you sweat in each other's mouths and you're still living.
Oh yeah,
you're good.
Yeah, you're very good.
You're
more than
very good.
Yeah. But that is going to fund the first Battle Bunker competition. And
well, real quick, Wave Top Battle Bunker.
Yes,
we haven't even got into that.
Okay.
Nobody knows.
Okay, so.
Oh, they know. Battle Bunker.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
But I mean, listeners need the context.
Mm-hmm. Most people that are like, oh yeah, that name rings a bell, but I don't really know what the Battle Bunker is. So I'll tell you. The Battle Bunker is a fitness series and show that takes on athletes, creators, and occupations and puts them through rigorous style military fitness events. Wow.
I love how you
did
said that
pretty well.
and you looked at the camera while you did it.
Yeah,
it was
I did that really well.
Spot on.
I think we have to cut that out and give that to you. You might need that.
Perfect. I love it. So the reason why the Battle Bunker started is because the videos on my channel that performed the best were obstacle course videos.
Yeah.
We would take, Caitlin Ohashi and other influencers and creators out there and just put them through this, like, hey, you come to our world and you go through this military obstacle course. And they perform very well. And by 2020, there I go again, pronouncing my I's. I had thought, like, I never wanted my YouTube channel to just be about myself. It was about the community, it's about inspiring others. And I said, I need to have a community. It's not just the Austen Alexander community. So that's when I had the idea to form a series, because we could build a community. It could be for everyone, not just Austen Alexander. And the best performing videos were the obstacle course videos. So I said, let's make an obstacle course fitness series. And the first name was Battle Factory. I was like, let's make it called the Battle Factory. I was looking, like I said, I had all this money in this account, and I looked at the name online. It was trademarked by Pokemon. So I was like, well, I don't even want to go that way.
No, I'm not even dealing with that.
No,
yeah.
Definitely not. And then I said, what's another military term for factory? And I was like, bunker, the battle bunker. I go online. It was meant to be, I'm telling you. Nerf had that trademark, and it just expired like 6 months prior. So I swooped in there. I got a lawyer. I said, I want to trademark everything with Battle Bunker. We got digital shows and series. We got physical sports events and competitions. We got hats, patches, everything but shirts. Because Balenciaga, well, we tried to get the merchandise for the BB logo.
Yeah.
But Balenciaga came back and they're like, sorry, we own this and we don't want you to step into it. So we were like, whatever, okay. So anyways, got all the trademarks in Battle Bunker. Got a logo, built it up, and then November 2020.
Were you able to get the URL?
No, because a company in Singapore owns battlebunker.com. So I bought thebattlebunker.com. Yeah.
Whatever.
We have subdomains that are like the.battlebunker.com.
Yeah, it doesn't. At this point, I don't even know if URLs matter.
I don't think so. I mean, we do a lot of on like landing pages,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Linktree and Shorby.
Yeah.
But there I was. This was another tough time for me because October was rolling around. I was getting out of the Navy. When I went on terminal,
This is where I remember everything about this.
yeah, this is where you came to help me out.
Yeah.
And
I helped build the original
A-frame.
A-frame.
Yep.
Super sketchy. But we built it.
Yeah, the wind knocked it over. That was how sketchy it was. I had never built anything like that, so I was just doing the best I could.
Yeah.
You know, the important thing to me was get the ball rolling and figure it out on the way.
Yeah, of course. Execute.
Exactly. Execute. So
many people, that's the difference. Everybody was like, well, I have this idea. I'm like, the difference between you and somebody else doing is they just did the balls to do it.
Execution.
Yeah.
Yep. And a lot of people find these excuses. They let these excuses build up in their head. I'm like, just do it. Just do something. You know, that'll put you in the right means to get somewhere.
The best way I can explain that is the first iPhone. Apple knew that thing was messed up. It knew that it wasn't 100% ready. They launched it.
Yep.
And then they improved it. And they launched another one.
The top selling phone in the entire
Ridiculous.
world.
Yeah.
So there I was, October 2020. I had about probably 60 or 70K in the bank, and I think it was more like 100K. So I didn't have any expenses at all. I paid a camera guy like about $25 for every shoot to come with us, basically for his gas. And that's how we were making videos. But when I built the Battle Bunker, I invested some money. I actually purchased a parcel of land in Lancaster, California.
I remember that.
And I was like, this is great. I'm finally got land in California. I'm going to really do this. And I reached out to the LA zoning department, and zoning in California is so liberal, you literally can't do hardly anything unless you pay for 5 or 6 of these surveys to get done, and that's another $200K out of your pocket. Anyways, they're like, congrats, Austen. You can build on this $10,000 parcel, but you have to get 3 surveys before you do it. You have to get a significant ecological area survey, a barn owl survey, and a desert tortoise survey. Here's a contractor that can do it for you. I called him up. He's like, yeah, I can do them all for $85. I'm like, $85? He's like, no, $85,000. They were like $30,000 a piece. So I was like,
womp womp.
yeah. I was like, okay, this is not happening. So I retracted the deal. Luckily, got my money out of escrow. And I was like, fuck. I was like, this is not going to happen in California. I was like, maybe I should just stop. Maybe I should just, can the Battle Bunker idea. But the guy that was helping me with YouTube stuff at the time, Michael Gordon, he was actually my manager. He said, hey, my friend's got a spot out in Santa Clarita, California, which is kind of out there. It was like, we lived in Anaheim. Santa Clarita was 3.5 hours away, or 3 hours away. I went there. He said, yeah, I'll take $4,500 for this 1 acre piece of land monthly. And I was like, if I have to do this, I will, just to get the Battle Bunker up and rolling. But then I thought, there has to be something better around in here. Like, I was looking at all these mountains. I said, there's so much land out here. There's got to be somebody better. So then I called up Ambush Paintball Park. Mm-hmm. I went and visited with a guy there named Glenn. Nice guy.
I met him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's pretty nosy.
We had the water buffaloes, remember?
Yep. Yep.
I think it might have been a different time that it came out.
I don't think so. You've only been there like once, right?
No.
Twice?
First time we built the A-frame. The second time was the water buffaloes.
Yeah, and the gator shoot.
Yeah.
Gator shoot. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I'm not doing anything with this land. I'm telling you, it was meant to be. He's like, and the whole time I was struggling because I was like, do I pay $4,500 a month, or do I, like, what do I do here? Just so confused. But I was consciously just trying to press forward with something. Found a spot, 86 acres, $3,000 a month. I said, how fast can you draft a lease? And he's like, well, I can have the lease to you tomorrow. He didn't think I was serious. He's like, how are you paying for this? And I was like, oh, I do YouTube. He's like, you make money from YouTube? Like, how does that work?
They don't get it.
I know.
They don't get it. Like they still to this day, like we try to talk to people about, like, what do you do? Well, I have e-commerce businesses. You sell things on the internet? Yes, motherfucker. I sell things on the internet.
Yeah.
And we make in millions. It's a 7-figure business, about to be an 8-figure business. Yes.
They don't understand.
They're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what don't you get? It's
somebody
I
was
sell
like,
things.
somebody was like, soap? You
Yeah.
sell soap? We're like, do you use soap, man? Like, yes.
Do you bathe?
Crazy.
Yes, that's the stuff that I sell. Yeah.
They
Anyways.
probably are still stuck using goose fat in the river. You know?
It blows my mind, man, that the fact that it's 2022 and people can't wrap.
Well, they don't want to.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, they don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, it's their world, so whatever. So, I said I signed the lease, $3K, and he's like, "What are you gonna, do?" I said, "I'm gonna build an obstacle course." He's like, "Okay." It's just this shitty kind of piece of land without water, without power.
It's so perfect, though.
It's perfect for the battle bunker.
Yeah.
They used to use it for a strawberry farm, so there were fertilizers out there, all old carts like trash. But to me, it was like this beautiful property for the battle bunker, future home of the battle bunker, and like 3 days later, I had already purchased a shipping container and a bunch of lumber, and I was out there, and in 40 days, I had the whole thing built, the first series 1 of the battle bunker, and we cracked open a bottle of champagne. I didn't want to do that because I don't like to celebrate because I think there's always work to be done.
Yeah, you gotta celebrate milestones.
You're
It's
right.
important.
But I just remember how anxious I was cracking open that champagne because I was like, you know what? We have done a lot of work out here, and it is only just beginning.
Yeah.
I still have to film, make these videos work, and if it doesn't work, I'm out $30K.
I'm the same exact way. Like, Johnny is really good about celebrating milestones for Johnny Slicks. I'm like, and I always feel the same way. I'm like,
Anxious.
kind of like we're not done.
Yeah.
I don't want to celebrate because we're not there yet. You know what I mean? But it is important. Like, a product hits $1 million, becomes $1 million product, or we hit a certain milestone or whatever. And he's ready to celebrate. And I'm like,
Yeah, when you have a goal of 40 million views in your head or a goal of $44 million sale price, it's like we didn't do anything yet. We didn't do it yet.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's important to hit those, to sit back and marvel at the work that you and your team have put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why I don't drink now. I haven't had a sip of alcohol in
same.
a long, long time because
I can't even remember.
Yeah, to me, it's like alcohol is a celebration, and I'm not the type of guy to celebrate. So, cracked open the champagne, busted the bottle. I poured my buddies some. They were all like, "Man, we did a great job." I had a lot of help from my friends. They hung up nets with me. They were out there at 2:00 in the morning, helping me drill the top of those 20-foot lumber thing with a really sketchy lift that I rented from people.
I remember.
And great company, by the way. Fillmore Tool and Rental. They recently were acquired, but great people over there. Anyways, we had it all set up. Made the first video, bombed. Second video, bombed. I was like, okay, I was getting out of the Navy at this point. I'm thinking, are people not watching my videos because I'm out of the Navy or what's going on? Because that was my business model. I had to achieve this viewership on YouTube or else.
Now, was this on your channel or the Battle Bunker channel?
My channel.
So they were bombing on your channel.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Because the Battle Bunker was such a new series.
It wasn't your obstacle course thing.
It was.
It was.
Oh, it was different because we usually filmed at the Marine Corps obstacle course.
Right.
Now people are like, what the heck? He's built his own obstacle course.
He's on the same videos. Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 4, 3 million views. And it was great.
Who was that?
That was Navy versus Marine. Just typical lineup. 2 of my friends out there. We had a blast shooting it. Positive comments. People are cheering for the Navy. And I like that. I know it's kind of cringy and cheesy to people, but
I don't know. For us, like, it's hard for me. I don't think it's like, I think YouTube is cringy, but I don't think sometimes when I see Army versus Navy, I don't see it as cringy because it brings me back to
exactly.
We just always did that stuff. Like, if you're in, that's what. If you have an Army guy that shows up to your task force, whatever, you're like, oh, let's go to the gym. Yeah, fuck you. We're gonna go. Let's go do this.
Exactly. So
you know what I mean?
It brings back that classic rivalry.
Yeah, of course.
When people see it and they hear, my name's Angel Romero. I'm a Motor T operator. They think, oh, my uncle's son is a Motor T operator.
Yeah.
And it's really engaging for the community.
Yeah.
And great experience.
Honestly, really great for recruiting as well. It's like a very positive way of showing the branches.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Now
recruit,
whether the services think so or not, it
they
is.
should be paying your ass, all of your asses to fucking
they definitely
recruit.
They don't pay me anything.
Definitely not.
I probably recruited more people into the Navy than the actual Navy. Unmeaningfully.
Yeah, I've done my work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they actually I think at some point somebody at headquarters Marine Corps reached out and told me to stop.
Really?
Yeah.
Because why? You were stealing all their recruits or something like that?
No, I think they didn't want official logos on stuff.
Official talk, and I'm like, guys,
what?
Instead of like threatening me, you should work with me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. Anyways,
they're scared.
Yeah.
A lot of the branches don't have control of the media. They don't know which direction or what they're doing.
It makes them nervous.
Yeah. So, do we have a time limit on this thing?
10 minutes.
Okay. I'll speed it up. So, there we go.
This is part 1. We can do part 2 at another time.
Okay.
Because usually these things are 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there was episode 3 or 4. Just blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
Great viewership on the Battle Bunker. The Battle Bunker's Instagram, people were following it and kind of engaging. And throughout the time, here we are, 21 episodes later. We landed a Snapchat show. We've monetized on Facebook, the Battle Bunker Facebook page, and now we're giving away money. We do battle bolos. We've started the battle bus, and shortly this year we're hosting our first competition. I don't want to give details about it because everything is still kind of under wraps and it's not all planned out specific yet, but that's what I originally wanted to do. I wanted to start physical competitions where the community could come to and compete against each other. I love competition. I love challenging myself, challenging others, and competing against people. I'm a very competitive person.
We talk a lot about this, challenges and competition. That's all growth.
Yeah.
Pushing yourself, that makes you grow.
Personal growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's the whole thing of the Battle Bunker. It's personal growth. Challenge yourself, challenge others.
It's fun.
It's very fun. Yeah. And
I want to know, I know the end goal, but I wonder, in your opinion, how close do you think are to getting like a no kidding show?
He's not at liberty to discuss this information, I feel like.
I'm sure he's already in talks with people.
The problem with that is if you go to a Netflix or if you go to a corporation or TV studio, they take the IP. They take all of your intellectual property.
Doesn't have to be. You can work a deal.
Not if you go on Snapchat Originals or Facebook Watch. They don't take the IP.
So you think you're going to stick with that?
I think
somebody's going to want you to host something. You're getting too good.
I think we can host badass Battle Bunker videos on my channel and the Battle Bunker channel. I would love that because I would be in full control of everything.
Yeah.
Like if we had
But a producer is not then.
But what's the number, Austen?
What's the number?
The number for what?
In which you would sell it.
The IP?
The whole shebang.
I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to buy Spartan.
Okay.
You heard it.
There you have it.
You heard it.
So Joe DeSana, I'm coming after you. No, I have no.
Joe's getting old. He might.
I have no interest in selling the Battle Bunker right now. It's way too exciting. It's the reason I wake up in the morning, and if I sold it, I would go back into a hole again. So I'm just having way too much fun. I'm in love with the process. Potentially some sponsors on the horizon that are going to help us get into a facility, and if not, we're going to get into a facility regardless.
Yeah.
I've taken these scary leaps before, and I'm not scared to do it to get to the next level. So I want a physical competition space and a place to compete for people to come compete against each other and win some cash prizes.
So here's the thing. Ready?
Yes.
3 things.
Okay.
To tell people to be successful.
Okay.
In your own experience.
All right.
What are your top 3 things?
You got to make moves. You can't be stagnant. The world's changing so fast. You have to make moves. Whether it's going in one direction, remember, you can always pivot and go the complete opposite direction. Just go, experience, put yourself through things, and you'll figure it out along the way. My original business model, AMA Marketing Ventures, went from social media to stock trading. Now it's digital media and content. So
just make moves.
Make moves.
Number 2.
Execute. Number 1's execute. Yeah. Make moves. Number 2 is don't be scared to fuck it up because you're going to mess up. We all have. Allie, Nick, Austen, we've all messed up multiple times. afraid of that, because on this adventure of personal growth or business growth or whatever, you're going to mess up a lot. And that's just a part of the bumpy road that it takes to become successful.
The tuition payments of success.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. I hate the word tuition, but yeah, for sure.
3
is value people that support you. There's so many people out there, that will say, "Hey, bro, you know, great stuff. Love what you're doing." But do they support you when you're down? Do they come to your events? Do they actually support you? There's only a very, very select few people in your life probably that are going to support you down to the core, and you need to take them to the top with you, and you need to value them, have them on your team.
That's awesome, man.
Excellent.
Where can people find you?
I'm on Pornhub and OnlyFans.
Only Farmers?
Battle Bunker on Pornhub. Yeah.
Only Farmers? Is that what it is?
Only Farmers. We actually are releasing a site. It's battlehumper.com. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. It's fuck this cough. It's Instagram, Austen Alex, AUSTEN. You'll find me. YouTube, Austen Alexander.
And then everything from there on out.
From there on out.
Yeah, we'll put it all in the show notes.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm gonna end it with this right here, and I know Austen is a big component of this as well. Is the biggest regret I have in business. All right, the biggest regret I have in the last 10 years of business is not investing in myself soon enough. So what that means is I would like somebody would be like, "Hey, where do I put $5,000 for an investment?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yourself.
Right?
Yep.
Because $5,000 at 10 at a whatever, you know, return of investment is not going to give you much. I mean, $850, $1,000
Ain't gonna move the needle.
Ain't gonna move the needle. But if you invest that $5,000 into you and teaching yourself how to be a better person, how to be more fit, how to build a business, that $5,000 can turn into $100,000, to turn into $500,000, to turn into $1 million.
It's really priceless.
Yeah. So with that said, I finally have launched. I'm taking names and numbers for the Always Forward mentorship, and that is the link in the links below as well. So I'm creating that community and starting to get and pour in everything I've fucked up in the last 10 years to teach you, and it's things that I've done with a lot of other people. Hell, that's the reason why Johnny Slicks is the way it is today. So, and several other businesses. So. That said, if that's something you're interested in, hit the link below. Invest in yourself.
I'm gonna click
that
link.
You're gonna click that link.
I'm gonna click that link.
Okay. All right. Other than that, thanks for listening to the Always Forward podcast. It was weird to say that. And then screenshot this, tag Austen and I, and we'll share it out, and we'll go from there. And we'll look forward to having Austen on a very much longer podcast next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
See you guys later.
See you later.